Greetings and welcome everyone to my review of Metro 2033 Redux. In case you were unaware, Metro 2033 is a game that came out back in 2010 on the Xbox 360 and PC. Now, 4 years later, it's received quite the update, but before we go into the improvements, let's discuss the game as a whole. And why not begin with the story? Metro 2033 is set in a post-nuclear apocalypse Russia where the surface has become a dangerous place to live, so everyone has moved to the underground, and those that didn't, well, they either died or got mutated. Ugh. You play as Artyom, a 20-year-old male who was born a little while before the bombs went off and for some reason can only talk during the load screens. A bit odd. Artyom lives in the Metro, which is being terrorized by mutated animals and something called the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones are a mysterious creature. They never outright kill anyone, but rather, they damage a person's mind and then, sooner or later, that will kill them. After the Dark Ones attack your outpost, you are given a quest by Hunter to go to Polis and find someone named Miller, because apparently he's able to help you deal with the Dark Ones who are terrorizing your station. In order to get to Polis, though, you will need to fight or sneak your way through bandits, mutants, radiation, ghosts, anomalies, and even Nazis, surprisingly enough. Metro 2033 is a stealth-focused first-person shooter. The stealth is probably the type of gameplay in Metro I like the most. While it is a bit basic in comparison to other stealth games, it does its job pretty well. Your watch provides a very nice clear indicator of your visibility. If it's lit up, you're visible, and if the light is turned off, you're difficult to see. Think of it as a light jam, like the one in Thief. There are generally 2 to 3 ways around an enemy group, and a lot of the time you can even sneak around them without having to kill anyone. Heck, sometimes you are rewarded with morality points for not killing anyone. Actually, that's an interesting system. I think it needs a bit more attention since the morality system in Metro is by far its worst gameplay mechanic. By doing certain actions, you will gain a morality point. Whenever you gain a morality point, the screen will flash white for a split second. You'd think at first, oh, okay, you do good things like find a cure for cancer, you get good morality points, right? Well, kinda. Sometimes you'll gain morality points for the weirdest things like playing a guitar, looking out a window, or not killing Nazis. So unless you're using a walkthrough, don't expect to get the good ending your first time through. But since the good ending isn't canon, I guess that doesn't really matter. Certain stealth sections can be made easier with the assistance of having a friend to help you, like Khan, who you first meet while trying to sneak through a tunnel full of bandits, and while you're off silently killing people, he's also there silently killing people for you. The friends of yours are also used as part exposition machines and part world building. You tend to get a slice of someone's life as you travel with them for a short while before they go away and are replaced with someone else. These sections of the game tend to be done very poorly, like for example, early on in the game a friend of yours is killed and then literally seconds later, Khan jumps down from the ceiling and is like, "Sup buddy, you upset because your friend died? Ah, don't be, he sucked anyway, I'm way cooler." What makes these sections even weirder though is that Artyom never speaks to them. Artyom will gladly speak during loading screens or write down his feelings in diaries that you have to collect for some reason, but he'll never directly talk to anyone. It's such a weird mix between a silent protagonist and an actual character, and ends up being worse than either. Well, let's move on from that. The level design in non-combat sections leaves a lot to be desired. Whenever you're not in combat sections, the sections you're allowed to roam around in are either incredibly linear or so open to the point where you're really not sure where you're supposed to go. But I'm not sure if being lost was an intentional design decision or not, because Metro's gameplay does a really great job at helping to flesh out the world. You know, it's not enough to be told, oh boy, sure does suck living in post-nuclear apocalypse Russia. You have to feel the suckiness, and you can really feel the suckiness of living in these conditions. For example, there are lots of difficult situations in the game that can be made way easier with the use of higher quality ammunition that is rare to find, and you'd think, well, that seems like a pretty important thing to have, so you should try to get as much as you can. And you're right, that's why literally everyone wants that rare ammo. So much so to the point where military grade ammo has become a form of currency, with people exchanging favors or selling you items for high quality ammo. Because that's just how dangerous this world is, and that is awesome. In fact, the entire game's world is probably the best part about it. As a world, it makes sense. It is logically designed. When you're walking around towns, you can feel that these are people who are trying to do the best they can in a bad situation. You know, oddly enough, that's also how I describe the graphics in this game, since I will admit the art direction in Metro 2033 isn't that great. It's the same sort of grey and dull art style that you tend to see in a lot of other apocalypse games like Stalker or Fallout. For the majority of the game, you can hardly tell this game is set in Russia. It looks like generic ruined building number 224. But of all the grey and dull art styles, this is the one that at least does it the most impressive on a technical level, with lots of high quality textures, effects, anti-aliasing, and all those other graphical fancy words. I just do wish we could stay around in areas that aren't the generic dull grey stuff for longer. For example, once you reach Polis, on your way into Polis, you can see it's an incredibly busy town that has a lot of activity, and you're just waiting to go see what the town is like. But instead, you get to stick around in a small room with two vendors who have bad Russian accents. To be honest though, all the actors in this game have terrible Russian accents, which for a game that's trying to immerse the players in as much as possible is a really bad thing to have. The same goes for the lip syncing. It's done absolutely terrible. The way the mouths move are done really poorly. You know, now that I think about it, the Dark Ones, a creature that communicates with you telepathically, they talk to you in an American accent of all things, which raises a lot of questions about their origin and how they managed to get to Russia. Maybe they swam there. Anyway, I feel that's enough of talking about the game, so how about we move on and talk about the changes to Metro 2033 in Redux. Two of the biggest changes are the levels and the graphics. Certain levels are now connected and are one big level instead of 2 or 3 small levels with a loading screen in between them, and the graphics have received a major overhaul, looking far better and are also way better optimized, so you'll get prettier graphics and much higher frame rates. The rest of the changes Metro received aren't that major. It's mostly just to help make Metro 2033 and its sequel more consistent. Character models have been replaced with the ones in Last Light, and the voice actor for Artyom is now the same one as he is in Last Light. And there are two difficulty modes called Spartan and Survival. Survival is the true Metro 2033 experience, but Spartan is based around more of the Last Light gameplay where it's more action focused with more plentiful ammo. One difference I really don't understand is that the watch Artyom has is different. Instead of having 4 distinct states of visibility, it's now turned into a binary, you're visible or you're not. I'm not a fan of this change and would prefer if there was the ability to get the original watch back, since it seems superior to the Last Light yes-no watch in every way. Overall, Metro 2033 is a very interesting game with a fantastic atmosphere and some very nice gameplay and resource management. My biggest complaints have to be the lack of voice actors and how the story is poorly told, but if you can look past bad accents and prefer to play atmospheric games for the journey rather than the destination, then Metro 2033 is a pretty damn fine game.